which I feel like could be kind of weak against Paladin and maybe the Mage. I don't really know.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't think he would lead with that.
Okay, well the game started right now. We see it's gonna be a Druid mirror, as we were
Druid, yeah, that well,
predicting.
that makes sense because Druid is the safest.
Mhm.
But I think they're different Druids, right?
Yeah, RenieHouR was running like a very aggressive Druid.
Yeah, I'm telling you, RenieHouR loves those Spectral Knights because he was playing those Spectral Knights in Warrior when everyone else was playing Sludge Belchers. I remember.
Korean meta. I mean, it's not bad. And if RenieHouR ever faces Reynad, if he ever gets that matchup, then he's going to be at a pretty good big advantage with the Spectral Knights versus Miracle Rogue out of all things.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see who Wild Growth then did. Someone played a Wild Growth. That would be having trouble even finding out whose turn it is right now. So it's RenieHouR's turn, but I can't tell who had the coin.
All right, so judging by yeah, I think Savjz had the Wild Growth because he's one turn ahead of his opponent instead of 2 turns. And he was probably player 2, and he coined out the Wild Growth actually. He coined
Right.
out Wild Growth into Shade.
Okay, so yeah, RenieHouR looks like he has a super aggressive version with Shade, Spectral Knights, the Shredders, and then Savjz is kind of more more well-rounded, I guess you could say. It's like it can be aggressive, but it also has the Ancient of Wars.
Yeah, Savjz was playing around Black Knight there, I think, and just being more aggressive with the Charge Druid. But unfortunately, that puts him in like a very bad position. He was predicting like a Druid of the Claw at best from RenieHouR, which he could have countered with Black Knight. But this is like the worst case scenario for him, that a Spectral Knight was played. He's
Yeah.
considering Savage Roaring right here, just to kill off the Spectral Knight.
Yeah, I think he's really thinking about it though because I believe in this kind of Druid deck, Savage only plays one roar, one copy of the combo. So
Mhm.
this is it. If he uses it, he won't have it for later.
Yeah. And if RenieHouR has done his research, then he'll know that.
Yeah, I think he has to do it though.
Mhm. Well, one way Savjz could come back into this game, not saying he's like super far behind, is if RenieHouR just taunts the Druid of the Claw right now.
Yeah,
Now he's gonna go for Piloted Shredder. Okay, so that's a play where it's hard to fall too far behind, but unfortunately he's gonna miss 2 of his mana.
yeah, he'll probably just have to play Lotheb unless he draws something else. Yeah,
Still being
I
aggressive.
I guess it shuts down Innervate and Force, but I'm not sure RenieHouR really was going to do that anyways.
Okay, 1 damage onto the Piloted Shredder to prevent it from trading too favorably into the Zombie Chow.
And RenieHouR has the combo. I mean, he can't play it yet, obviously, but so do you just charge your Druid of the Claw and just hit the face and hope to just kill him with the combo in a turn, or should you make some trades here?
I like this play from RenieHouR. He's very heads up. He sets up for combo next turn. Like if Savjz probably will not play around the combo on turn against his opponent's turn 8, and because of that, he'll RenieHouR will be able to combo and just win the game. Like if Savjz doesn't trade here, which he won't trade here. He just loses. It's exactly lethal.
Wow, nice. So the Innervate kind of is going to catch him off guard there. Yeah, RenieHouR has double force because if you see Spectral Knight and Shade and Piloted Shredder, you can almost always assume there's going to be double combo.
Savjz is definitely looking a little salty right now. He's like, oh, you had that.
Yeah. I don't think you really can play around your opponent having Innervate combo too much. I mean, even if he killed the Shredder, well, I guess it would be pretty unlikely that he would get another four attack minion, but
Mhm.
still, it doesn't feel good to kill the Shredder, and you wouldn't kill the Shredder assuming your opponent has a Shaman in the handlock, assuming it all goes to plan.
Okay,
Yeah, and
so
he does pick Mage.
mhm. A bit of a slow hand for RenieHouR.
Yeah, no Wild Growth, no Innervate. Pretty much ideal for Savjz there.
Well, I mean, it's like the best, sort of the best hand possible for no wild growth.
For not having them,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it's still playable. It's not like RenieHouR won't have moves for the next few turns.
Yeah, and so he actually might not have anything to do this turn.
Oh, he drew
Oh,
something.
he. Oh
Oh
wow, that's
shit! Wow.
that's the perfect card to draw because if he if he didn't do that, he was just gonna be ping in the face power.
Okay, RenieHouR is actually
I think
going
he's
to.
gonna.
Is he gonna silence or? Okay, it's gonna be silence.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
that
fair. He's because the keeper trays into the mad scientist pretty well anyway.
yeah, and if RenieHouR was watching or paying attention to the previous matches, he'd probably have an idea, what secrets Savjz will be running later on.
Yeah. Counterspell, mirror image.
I
All
think
right.
those were the only two we saw.
Mhm. Sludge Ultra is going to be very good here, simply because it contests the 4/3 piloted shredder so well, and he's going to trade
This is
into the
such
keeper. Like he knows his opponent already used a swipe, so it's going to be pretty rare that he's going to have another one in his hand.
Yeah, this is such a weird mage deck. It's basically just the good stuff deck, right? You just have, a bunch of really good cards just all jammed together, right? You have Sludge Belcher, Shade,
Mm-hmm.
Shredder, Flame Strike, the secrets. Unstable Portal can just randomly win you a game, although he got really, really crappy cards last time he had a Stable Portal. But
Yeah, it's kind of like a deck that was used before GVG was released. Like Daoud, Ostkaka, and Lothar were using this kind of deck.
yeah, it
Oh, that's pretty good.
looks like he's just gonna get run over here, pretty
Yeah,
much.
like there's very little that RenieHouR can do right now. But I guess like the pint-sized summoner isn't the worst card that he could have gotten from Pilot Shredder. Now, no, Savjz has Flame Strike next turn, so
That's just game.
yeah.
Wow, that was the quickest match I've seen in a long time.
That was pretty funny, actually. Savjz just curved out perfectly. See, it's going to be Shaman.
Wow, he does pick Shaman. He has his Zombie Chow, which is pretty much ideal.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Savjz draws his own Zombie Chow one turn too late. Although I guess
Oh
it's something
wow.
he can play next turn.
So RenieHouR is playing Feral Spirits and Crackle.
Yeah, this is kind of like the first iterations of GVG decks, GVG Shaman decks especially.
Yeah, I think it's okay to coin Feral Spirits here because you have the Rock Biter for sure. I mean, because it gives you something to do next turn.
Mhm. Actually, because this deck has KT, it probably wants as many minions as possible. So that's like one reason that's one possibility for why like fireballs might not be in this deck.
Yeah, I doubt there's Fireballs at this point. And he got his Mad Scientist got him a counterspell which negated the Rock Biter.
Mhm.
See, this is kind of what I was talking about with Feral Spirits earlier when we were just kind of chatting.
Mhm.
Like, he basically skipped his entire next turn, and Zombie Chows just, I mean, they weren't even hard to deal with, so I don't know. I don't know how good they are anymore.
Yeah, RenieHouR doesn't have a lot of options this turn. Like RenieHouR is winning the tempo plays, but he was losing like the value plays. Like Savjz got so much value from hero power throughout the entire game.
That's a pretty good totem to get. It makes it so Savjz can't just hero power
Mhm.
the Zombie Chow down.
Yeah. But looking at Savjz's hand, like he probably wasn't gonna ping next turn anyway.
And the thing is, I mean, I don't think you want to Crackle anything here, but you don't really want to use Crackle next turn either because you want to be able to play Fire Elemental on 6.
Mhm.
So it's a little awkward.
Oh, he's gonna crackle.
Yeah, I think this is right. Just because
Did you see Savjz's reaction? He was like, "Wow."
I think he kind of has to do it though, because if you don't play it this turn, you're not gonna play it next turn or on turn 6. So if you don't play it this turn, that's 3 turns in a row. You're not gonna be able to use it. So you might as well just get it out of your hand, I guess. And now this Feral Spirits is awkward too because it doesn't really match up with the Sludge Belcher, and you wouldn't be able to play the Fire Elemental next turn.
Mhm. Oh, unfortunately, the secret is mirror image, and Savjz gets a lowly Defender of Argus.
Well, yeah, Defender of Argus is probably the best way to check for Mirror Entity. Assuming you're buffing two of your guys. I don't know. Sludge Belcher is kind of annoying though. I wonder if he'll even. Oh well, I was gonna say I wonder if it draws out a hex, but then Sylvanas came down.
Savjz
I
is in
don't
a
know.
pretty good position right now because he's filling up his board with his minions, and RenieHouR doesn't have. Wow, look at that!
Aw, a little bit late.
Yeah, a bit late, and also look at that like Hunter hate and Fatigue Mage hate. But yeah, like Savjz is doing pretty well because he's filling up his board in preparation for the KT that's going to come out on turn 8.
I don't understand why RenieHouR bans Hunter when he has things like the Kizion Mystic and the double heal bot, and then like the Paladin with muster for battles and stuff. It seems like his lineup would be pretty okay against Hunter.
Well, in my experience, the Paladin that RenieHouR is running isn't actually that good against Hunter, just because it doesn't have those like zombie chows and like um, it has to kind of rely on getting the board back from an
Right, it's a
unfavorable
slower
position.
one.
Yeah, but yeah, this Kazan Mystic.
I guess it's in there for the like freeze. It's probably in there for fatigue mage and freeze mage, but obviously it would be okay against a mage like this.
This is like a perfect board, perfect setup for Kel'Thuzad.
Yeah,
And
I honestly,
he's gonna use the hex too. This is gonna be like terrible for
yeah,
RenieHouR.
I don't see RenieHouR having an easy time with this.
Although, well, Savjz is only gonna be able to suicide 2 things.
Ooh, Doctor Boom. Last time Savjz waited to play KT until after Doctor Boom. I wonder if he'll do the same thing. Because I remember he gave up the Sylvanas because he wanted to play Doctor Boom and then play KT.
I think Doctor Boom is actually not a terrible play this turn because you won't be able to kill off this Fire Elemental, and like the Fire Elemental will be able to just trade into. No, he won't actually be able to trade in because the Sludge revives, and there's going to be too many taunts.
Yeah, he's just gonna KT this time.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Yeah, he gets an extra card draw from the loot hoarder as well.
Flame Tongue. How much mana does he have? Because he's overloaded, right? 6. If he had one more mana, he could kill off the KT.
Mm-hmm.
Or if he wasn't overloaded, I mean.
Yeah, if he wasn't overloaded, or if he had 2 more mana, right? Because you need the Flame Tongue and the Fire Elemental. Oh, yeah, or the Alakir.
I hate to say it, but I think RenieHouR is kind of screwed here.
Yeah, another game decided by KT. I think like the best play here is like just to put 3 damage on the KT. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, there's no sense in killing anything else unless you're also killing the KT. But they'll just come back. So.
And then you can kill off like the frog for style points.
Yeah.
But RenieHouR is a bit sad that he used a hex there.
Do you know if you have two KTs on the board, and every time something dies, you get back 2 of them?
Yeah.
And then if you have a golden KT and something non-golden dies, it revives as a golden version.
I did not know that one. That's,
yeah, I've been playing a lot of Reincarnate Shaman for fun with golden KT, so that scenario's come up a few times.
Did you craft your golden KT?
Yeah, that's good crafting value there. Okay. I think for instance, Unstable Portal is a pretty good gold one to craft. You craft a golden Unstable Portal, you basically have every card golden, right? Every creature.
Yeah. Unstable Portal, Thought Steal.
Web Spinner's a good one.
Web Spinner, yeah. Oh, a Clockwork Giant.
Clockwork Giant?
I mean why not? Why not?
he could play it if he wanted to. I don't think...
Oh, Echo of Medivh! Oh my god, it's going to be sick.
Yeah, so that makes sense because his deck is basically all minions.
I almost thought he had a Hex for a second, but no, it's just a frog.
Yeah.
And that scenario could come up again, like having 2 KTs on the board. That's very realistic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it's kind of annoying sometimes. It's like first world problems, right? But you have to be really careful what you kill off first because KT revives things in the order in which they die. So especially if you're bringing back multiple things, like you might not have enough room on the board depending on the order you kill stuff off.
Alchemist, you're just like really dropping the
KT knowledge here.
The KT knowledge today.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I
wow.
know it's slightly off topic, but I mean, RenieHouR is kind of getting stomped this game. It's not much to not much to really commentate on.
And
They,
Savjz
Savjz
actually
never gets anything good
uh,
off his
he,
unstable portal.
he doesn't even play the free leopard gnome because if he does, then he won't be able to play anything next turn because the board will just be so filled.
But this is also a mage deck that seems like it could just get a pretty sick nut draw and
Well, I think the key is going to be this unstable portal right now, to be honest.
oh, I get the game. Well, this will be the one game where Savjz actually gets something
Yeah,
really good from it.
exactly.
Watch.
The one game and the one game where he actually needs it.
RenieHouR's hand is all right. He's got the Mountain Giant, which is nice to see. Might see him. He might see him play something a little bit offbeat, just in case. Like if Savjz lays down the secret, or if Mad Scientist dies, RenieHouR
Oh
might
wait!
need to play around Mirror Entity.
Oh
What do
my
you get?
god! He he got an ancient
Okay, so
mage.
he got an Ancient Mage, and he also drew an Enhancer Mechano. It was hard
Yes.
to tell. It was hard to tell if he got
Yeah,
that off the.
I couldn't tell for a second either, but yeah, my Enhanso Mechano is in this deck.
I think Savjz said on Twitter yesterday that Enhancer Mechano is one of his new favorite cards to ladder with, just because it's fun.
Have you been watching Savjz's stream lately?
Yeah, I've been watching his stream a lot.
Yeah, is this a deck that he's played on stream before?
I haven't seen him play it on stream, but I didn't. If he played it like in the last day on stream, I didn't see his last stream or two.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been watching him play a lot of the Fatigue Mage, a lot of the Paladin. I've seen him play some Hunter, and in the Hunter deck he had Enhancer Mechano. Enhanced Mechanic. Am I even saying it right? I don't even know I just think it's like Enhanced Mechanic or Enhanced Mechano.
Savjz is kind of sad because he got taunt on all his minions, which is by far the worst one. And he got Wind Fury on the Ancient Mage. That's like something I never thought I would see. A taunted Wind Fury Ancient
Taunted Wind
Fury
Fury
Ancient
Ancient
Mage.
Mage. Yeah.
That's great.
So
So
I think Savjz is actually in some trouble here, to be honest. Although, wait, the Mad Scientist died, so there's a secret, right? We just can't see it.
I mean, RenieHouR can test it with the Ancient Watcher. You can test with a coin.
Okay. So,
But yeah, I don't see
think
Savjz winning this match, to be honest.
RenieHouR did have the option to just Shadow Flame if he wanted to, but I guess he doesn't really need to. He could also taunt up here. Oh, I was wondering if he was going to taunt up the Giant or not, but he's probably still kind of unsure what's in his Mage deck. Just a little scared of dying. Because if you taunt up the just the Ancient Watcher without any additional help, then it protects the Giant, right? Because he wouldn't be able to. He would have to throw his 3/2 and 2/3 into the Ancient Watcher.
Yeah, I think RenieHouR is just playing a little safe, and that's okay against an unknown Mage deck. Because you saw like Enhancer Mechano in this Mage deck, so you probably have no idea what else is in it.
Okay, so second Mountain Giant.
What's that card that Savjz just drew?
I believe it's the Lotheb. It was
Okay.
He picked it up pretty quickly though.
Lotheb is one of Savjz's favorite cards, actually.
It's one of my favorite cards too.
Like a lot of decks have been cutting Lotheb. Like Handlock's been cutting Lotheb, Druid has been cutting Lotheb, right?
Yeah, I don't understand that, man. Like, do people read the card? If you're ahead on board, you just like win the game.
Yeah.
You play the card and you win the game.
Yeah, but like Savjz, like is a player that would never cut Lotheb in any of those decks.
Sometimes I'll cut Lotheb just so I can test out something else, and I'm not, just like, oh, I'll make some room, I'll try this. But I always, like in the final version of a deck, I pretty much always have Lotheb in it.
It's a good card.
There's another unstable portal. I wonder if is there a good KT here? Not really.
No.
I don't think. He can't really kill off anything. Flame Strike is. He doesn't have the mana to ping. This is actually a kind of a really awkward turn. I mean, Flame Strike's not bad, I guess, right? You can attack the Belcher, Flame Strike, and chuck your 3/2 into the Mountain Giant.
Ooh. That's. Is he not going to trade?
It weakens your board a lot, but I always think about just going face.
Like, we can see that's probably a mistake because Shadow Flame exists. Yeah, trades. Yeah, if they're... Okay, so RenieHouR drew the Dark Bomb, but without the Dark Bomb, RenieHouR had actually no way to clear this Lothar. Like, when you play Unstable Portal, like... Or if you have Unstable Portal in your hand and you're, like, a really bad position, you have to be thinking, like, what can I draw that could win me the game? And Houndmaster is not that good.
Not a Houndmaster. The best thing we've seen Savjz get out of Unstable Portal out of, I think, 5 or 6 played was the Clockwork Giant. And even that's not really fantastic compared to what some of the stuff you could get.
Yeah, Savjz has had really bad Unstable Portal RNG lately.
He's still winning all the games that he's played Unstable Portal. It's just kind of funny to me that he's always getting these really awkward ones.
Even though this game, like, kind of looks a bit over now, I think going into the next game, Savjz will be pretty comfortable with this Paladin versus Handlock. I think it's an extremely favorable matchup.
Yeah, that's pretty much kind of what I'm predicting. I'm thinking that this will take the Mage, and then Paladin will have the advantage over Handlock. I don't think it's an auto win or anything like that by any means, but it's definitely, I would say, Paladin favored.
That's my alarm. Okay.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. It's now 8 a.m. on the East Coast.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to play in Hearthstats in later today, so I'm gonna be pretty tired, I think, for that.
Yeah. Make sure you check out Hearthstats. When are you playing, by the way?
I think it starts at 1 p.m. EST.
So that's in
like 4 hours from
5
now.
hours.
5 hours. Yeah.
All right, and that's game.
Yeah, and while we're chatting about this, RenieHouR is finishing up.
Yeah, good game, guys. Hopefully we'll get in the next game pretty quickly. Yeah, it's matchup. And Savjz has like a lot of the key cards already. He has one equality. I think like equality is a card that you actually want a bit later in the game. You don't really want equality like one single giant or one single drake. But the other card that's really important is the turn 3 acolyte.
Is there any way to trigger your own acolyte in this deck aside from just actually using it to attack?
I guess like Aldor kind of. And also Wild Pyromancer, but that's really rare. Like usually you're not gonna Wild Pyromancer coin to trigger your Acolyte of Pain. I've played this Paladin deck a lot, and I've actually never had that happen.
Alright. Well, RenieHouR has a pretty alright hand himself, Double Drake.
Yeah. I feel like it's like usually you don't want a equality this early into the game, but it's pretty viable right now. Two Twilight Drakes is like pretty good value from equality.
No, you can't do that. Well, you wouldn't be able to get both of them right now. Yeah, Savjz picks up Eldor too, which is one of the cards that you want against Handlock also. I think Savjz has pretty much all the tools that he needs, but...
Yeah, it's just a difficult position, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, RenieHouR's hand is pretty good as well.
Well, Savjz, you've seen that your opponent has played his one Mortal Coil, so the Sen'jin might be a problem. But we can see that RenieHouR is running Defender of Argus, which can buff the Twilight Drakes to kill a Sen'jin immediately. But like Savjz is just kind of like trying to put out like some defense a bit early on, just so that Savjz, so that he'll get more to the board, and Equality Consecrate will get more value. And now that Savjz has drawn both equalities, I think Equality Consecrate is the play.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you, had he not drawn that equality, do you think this is worth an Equality Consecrate? Would you have done that here?
Yeah, I think so. Like the 2 Twilight Drakes is enough. And and the other thing is, as you were saying before, like with the Harrison play, we were talking about Harrison, whether you should play Harrison into like a Truce over champion. I think it's the same concept in that there's no other better player right now. So you might as well just Equality Consecrate for not like the super like heavy value, but just like a decent value.
Just a good one, yeah.
It's actually pretty rare that that Handlock is able to get a Molten Giant out this early.
I've actually, I think it might have been Dogs say that he actually just keeps Molten Giant against Paladin because a lot of times they just deal so much damage to you earlier. Maybe he wouldn't against this kind of Paladin, but some of the faster Paladins uh, just really dome you for a lot of damage early on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Siphon Soul face.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, that would have been pretty sick.
Oh well, GG. Yeah, you got me,
Uh,
Siphon Soul.
you,
You
you, you,
win.
you survived to turn 6 and you drew Siphon Soul. I can't do
Yep.
anything against that.
Almost as good as the execute face.
Yes, but execute you actually like need your opponent to be damaged somehow. So
Yeah, you have to
that's
like get first blood on
it's
him.
kind of a challenge. And if you're playing against like a mirror in a mirror warrior matchup, they can just keep armoring up. It's just
All right.
not as good.
So let's see, RenieHouR. Okay, Savjz just turns. There's a Harrison Jones.
Yeah, the funny thing is like Savjz has so much card draw right now and so many cards in his hand that like Harrison Jones like might not be that good. Like
Yeah, if Jiraxis comes down late enough, it won't even be you won't even really be able to use it because you'll just fatigue yourself. So what's that? What's the other card there? Oh, he's gonna. That's his last equality. That's it's pretty important.
yeah, but I think his like he's gonna go on the offensive now. Like he can't play defensively anymore, and he's
Yeah,
seen
the Sky Golem's really good at trading up with larger minions too.
his opponent has used a Molten Giant as well, so he probably doesn't have the second one. This is actually like a pretty good position, and I think that this is one of this is like Savjz's own kind of particular style. He likes to make his opponent as uncomfortable as possible, and it's like I think it's a bit drastically different from um, what Kalento might do. He might like just play it a bit safer, I guess. And I think it's one of Savjz's strongest suits. Just after watching pretty much every game that he's ever played, um, he like when it's time to turn on the aggression, when that's the most probable way to win the game, he goes for it. He isn't scared.
Yeah. So I keep not seeing what's in the hand, and then he picks it up. Okay, so he was thinking about Eldor Peacekeeper in there. I mean, he does have a pretty easy trade if he wants it. He could just trade Sky Golem and the Divine Shield. I mean, RenieHouR has gone through 2 Twilight Drakes, 1 Molten Giant, and this is a Mountain Giant. So RenieHouR is kind of I mean, he still has some threats left, but he's getting them whittled down here. And if Savjz was paying attention to the Fatigue Mage match, he knows that RenieHouR basically has your standard threats and then Dr. Boom, which is pretty much standard at this point, but there's no like Ragnaros or anything else.
All right, more offense. I like it. I like it a lot. This forces your opponent to have like a Shadow Flame or like an Owl, and there's like no good AOE. There's no Shadow Flame, so
He does have the Owl though, which is pretty good.
so you can Owl, you can trade into Tyrion, and then what? You're still staring at like this really scary piloted Sky Golem.
What if you... Is there a Hellfire play? Maybe Hellfire, then Dark Bomb the Tyrion. See what comes out of the Sky Golem, kill that off with your Giant, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Whoa, he's going for face.
Uh-oh.
Is he trying to race or?
I don't know if you can race on it. I guess if he does that, then he's probably thinking about what's laying down a Sludge Belcher or something. I'm really not sure. That seems okay.
I guess his thought process was that if he did 8 damage to face right now, his opponent would be down at 9, and then he has Hellfire and Dark Bomb in his hand, so he just needs to draw 3 more damage. Not really sure.
I just don't think he's in a spot where he can afford to do that.
All right, what's gonna come
Okay.
out? Oh, that's the worst one.
Yes, below average.
And, like Savjz, I would say Savjz has been getting like pretty good draws like in all his games, but his like RNG on all the RNG effects are like have been pretty horrible.
Yeah, all below average pretty much.
Like
On
unstable,
unstable portals,
unstable portals,
shredders.
shredders, sky golems. This is a creative play. Walled pyro coin. He's gonna heal the Walled
It's gonna
Pyromancer.
heal the Wild Pyromancer. You
That's
don't see that very
that's
often.
great. I think he heals the Wild Pyromancer and not himself, partially because he runs 2 Lay on Hands in his deck.
Okay. Man, RenieHouR just never is running out of threats here. Every turn they get cleared, and then he has another one. He's gonna get a free giant after this Hellfire.
That's interesting. A Shade in Savjz's deck. That was originally a card that was not in that.
Yeah, I've seen him in some of the older lists pre GVG, but nothing recently. I guess Druid is pretty popular, right? And Shade is generally good against Druid. They don't really have a good answer. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why it's in there.
I think it's also that maybe I think okay. So I think what happened was Savjz took out the mind control tech that was originally in this deck and put in Shade for tournament play because everyone's going to play around mind control tech because they know this deck so well.
That's a good point. Yeah, just put in a solid 3-drop.
Ooh, Shadow Flame. That's gonna be
Shadow
that's
Flame.
gonna be very important. Shadow Flame. You need that Shadow Flame to counter the Muster Quartermaster combo. That's inevitably going to come up.
I think we might see Jiraxis pretty soon here.
Yeah, Consecrate's really good now though. You're out of equalities, so when you can kill anything with Consecrate for 2 damage, that's obviously going to be pretty good.
And Savjz has the Muster for Battle Quartermaster combo in his hand. Probably not going to be used.
I think actually you
right now.
you can use the Muster this turn. There's no other.
Yeah, and then it just if they don't get cleared, you win the game.
Yeah. Like you force your opponent to have a second Hellfire or Shadow Flame, and if he Shadow Flames, he can't go Jiraxis, which is what you're afraid of right now, because your opponent's at 6 HP, and he has like a somewhat okay board, but if he goes Jiraxis, then like you don't have that much pressure on the board right now, and then he can just like come back eventually.
Yeah, it looks like that's what he's thinking about doing it. Yeah, I think that's probably right. You sold me on it.
Yeah. Guess I did.
Because if you play them both in the same turn, you can't attack with them. They're going to get Hellfire or Shadow Flamed anyways, right? So you might as well just do it this way.
Funny thing is, this Molten Giant could get value now from a Shadow Flame. Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen.
Do you think he'll heal bot this turn? Probably.
Yeah, I don't see really anything else. Healbot's so weak though.
Yeah, I mean you can't really tap because then you would die to a True Silver, and you can't play Healbot.
Savjz is at like a fairly like dangerous health though right now.
It feels weird to heal. Okay, so I guess this is pretty good too. I was gonna say it feels weird to heal bot like the turn before you're probably gonna end up playing Jiraxis.
That's true. Yeah, I think that this is probably the best play.
Yeah, but you also can't tap because then you die. So yeah, just throw out a BGH.
I think at this point, Savjz has used like a lot of cards in his hand. So when the Jiraxis eventually comes down, like he'll be able to get a good Harrison off. So it's actually working out really well for him. Don't play the Harrison, Savjz. You need it. He's
thinking about it.
Yeah, he's thinking, deciding between Shade and Healbot right now.
You could also just make a dude and... Okay, he's just going to Healbot.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, the Harrison play would probably be because he wants to put on more pressure. And he's thinking about, like, if my opponent does Jiraxis next turn, like, is the pressure from the 5 damage of the Harrison body enough?
Right.
Oh man, he kills the Healbot instead of the Aldor. Is that playing around? That's not playing around Panda.
It's playing around in that mech synergy. I don't know what that mech synergy. What's a mech synergy card that Paladin could have?
I don't know.
I don't even. I don't
Yeah,
even. I can't
the
even
the,
think of a
the
thing.
Cobalt Guardian.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Now Savjz, I believe he has one card left.
I'm pretty sure Savjz is gonna win this
Yeah,
game now.
I'm
I
pretty sure
can't.
as well. Is he?
I don't. I don't think he's. I don't think RenieHouR is coming back from this.
RenieHouR is like, all right, if I just survive like 5 more turns, my opponent will fatigue himself out.
Man, these people need to learn to launch the rocket.
Mm-hmm.
Can't just leave the rocket unchecked there.
That's like I don't know if you've been like watching. You've been watching ESL. Like whenever the spectator for ESL wins, like his
Yeah.
he just launches the rocket for PM. But yeah, quartermaster into Owl. GG. Well played.
That's kind of what I was saying earlier too. Like paladins have a way to just kill you now. Before, sometimes you just be paladins would just sit there and dawdle around with Kodos and
Mm-hmm.
other big clunky minions. Now they can just kill you with quartermaster.
Yeah.